to really get wild.
Yeah, I remember
you guys
that.
Remember back in the day, back in my day.
When I first met you,
day.
we still partied together.
Is that true?
Yeah,
That's not
was
true.
your tail end.
Really? I don't remember this. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show.
Let's
go. Oh, man.
Let's go.
Presented by Bet365. Never ordinary. Certainly not tonight's start time. 8 o'clock. Oh. I genuinely hate it. It puts me in a bad mood. And I'm like, 8 o'clock?
I do too.
You know,
I know.
like, oh, it's 1 hour later than typical. But here we are. We're going to power through, as are the Denver Nuggets. They are in Golden State to take on Golden State Warriors. And you know who's making their return to Chase Center? None other than Jamal Murray. We're going to talk about that as well as get an updated look at the year of Jamal. Does it continue tonight? Is tonight a sign? We're also going to look at potential first round opponents. Why? Because they're playing the Warriors, and there's a chance it's the Warriors. Should the Warriors get their act together,
right.
If they really climb the standings, you guys, that could be the Warriors.
I feel good.
And then later on in the show, Superstar Dev is going to make us all rich beyond our wildest imaginations. To help me with this show, though, I got Brendan Vogt.
How's it going, fellas? How's it going? I'm excited to be here. I love this jacket, shirt. What do you call this? Shirt? Jacket? What do you think?
It looks like the Teletubby material.
It does kind of look like the Teletubby material. I don't love it as much anymore, but I'm still happy to be here.
There was a green Teletubby. I had to confirm.
Yep, that's right.
We are like the Teletubbies a little bit, you know, the four of us. Over here, we've got Harrison Wynn.
I think they're just making us get ready for the playoffs, these late start times.
Yeah,
We're
could be that.
playoff prep. That's what we're doing tonight.
Yeah, it could be that. Over there, Superstar Dev.
Howdy, partner. I'm practicing, man. I'm excited, man. This is the first back-to-back that I'm ready for.
Practicing.
He's
Get
practicing.
it out the way, man.
So, what are you practicing for, Dev? What is that?
I mean, I've been wanting to be a cowboy lately. I've been wanting to be a cowboy.
All your life.
You guys, tomorrow night is a very special night for us. Your boys might be courtside. Not might be. Will be courtside at the game tomorrow. Play that
fellas
silence. Play
courtside?
The fellas courtside things courtesy of Courtside Dave.
Courtside Dave, the legend.
Howdy,
DNVR
partner.
Appreciation Night. It's going to be an absolute banger. We're going to be courtside, and it also happens to be Western Night. That's why the howdy partner.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see the Western wear of this panel right here.
I've never seen Dev this excited.
I've never been this excited.
Dev's like, Halloween comes twice this year?
Oh, my gosh.
I can't wait for it either. All right, Nuggets taking on the Warriors. What do you got for game notes, Wind?
Well, the only injury for the Nuggets is Reggie Jackson. He's expected to play tonight. Calf tightness. I believe he is playing. For the Warriors, Draymond Green is out, suspension. But today, actually, Woj reporting that he's reporting on Green's imminent return to Golden State's practice facility to begin ramping up to resume play.
He's been rehabilitated?
It took 11 games.
Man, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he's missing his 11th game
What a
tonight.
great league, man, that they've really rehabilitated. I saw he was at LeBron's party the other day.
was
Probably
he
helped.
rehabilitated?
That was one of the nights.
That was okay.
What was he rehabilitating? His personality?
Yeah, his personality. He's punching people and stuff.
Yeah.
And went
Well,
to
I'm glad
LeBron's
he's
party.
coming back.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, dressed up a little.
So annoyed with this.
Looked
whole
like a
storyline.
theme party.
So he's almost back. That's interesting. That
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it wasn't that long.
11 games.
That's a lot of games though. So
Yeah,
it's more
it's a fair
games than I
amount of games,
expected.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen somebody get bit by a dog and come back in last time. So this league. This league.
Gary Payton's also out for the Warriors. He strained his hamstring recently.
Yeah, he came back for like one game.
Yeah, does he
Yeah.
play basketball anymore?
He had the series of his life against the Nuggets, and then
No, he's good.
Is he?
I mean,
He
he's
had
been,
the series of his life against the Celtics.
I mean, I remember the Nuggets one, but
The series, that Nuggets one was not about him. That Nuggets one was about Jordan Poole.
well, I remember Gary Payton hitting corner three after corner three, and that was rough.
The guy does jump like 50 inches in the air, so
Yeah.
He's played like 4 games since.
I know it's really
crazy.
crazy.
Well, the Warriors are kind of a mess. They're 16 and 17 overall, 11th in the Western Conference. They've lost 3 of 4, but they are coming off a win over the Magic 2 nights ago. The news around the Warriors, they're obviously switching up their starting lineup a ton. They've moved Kevon Looney to the bench. They've moved Trace Jackson-Davis, their rookie who played well against Denver in that last matchup, to their starting center spot. And they're also starting Chris Paul. So a lot of movement for the Warriors, and that's led to Moses Moody reportedly being disgruntled about his role.
I like Moses Moody. I kind of liked, as a prospect, as a young player. Like, I think he could be, could have been a good player. So that's kind of, I guess it's something noteworthy that he is not panning out for them.
Yeah, Michael Mullen pregame was talking about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He said, I think KCP is probably the one who doesn't hardly get the recognition that he deserves on our team. If you talk to anybody in our locker room, our nickname for him is first team. We think he's a first team All-NBA defender. And against the Warriors, he has been, because he's held Steph Curry to 13 of 38 shooting in 2 matchups this season.
Well,
they used to call me. They used to call me honorable mention.
Yeah,
all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
First team would be a cool nickname.
First team is a cool nickname. I like that. KCP is the forgotten starter, though. He's always the 5th name.
Never run any plays for him.
Yeah. Well, they kind of
Doesn't-
do. They have one play.
Well, Michael Mullen says he doesn't.
Yeah, that's what he said. But they have the little pin down. He comes around and shoots the elbow jumper. You know the
I know
play.
he does.
They call it once.
Yeah, it's not even a play. It's an action. It's part of a broader play.
Regular starters for the Nuggets, for the Warriors. I believe they're starting the same guys they did last game. Steph, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, Kuminga, Kevon Looney. Oh, no, so it is Kevon Looney back in the starting lineup for them.
You got to go big here, man. You got to go big against Yoke. I imagine that's why. He's a good defender,
I think Trace
by the way.
Jackson Davis is bigger than Kevon Looney.
Yeah, but Kevon Looney is a good defender. He actually does do a decent job on Yoke traditionally. So
Yeah.
I would love Yoke to just murder him. Let's ask this, guys. One of the topics from the last little bit, Yoke only missed 2 shots in the last 3 games, in part because he's not really shooting that much. Does he shoot tonight?
Yes. I think you have to. I know that the conversation has to be like, hey, you're not missing. You have your touch back. Now it's time to not only ramp it up, but go off. You're Jokic. You can score whenever you want to. I think it was a few of those misses was getting to him. Now he's got that in order. I do expect him to start shooting more and to have a monster game.
Yeah, I think I expect a big game from Jokic. It's either going to be he's scoring 35 points, which I think he did in that last Warriors game, or he's going to have a 13, 14 assist game because they're just doubling him. I'm feeling the points, though, too. I'm feeling a big scoring game from Jokic.
Yeah, I think a lot of it right now, maybe more so than we give credit to, is how other teams are defending him. Not that he couldn't sort of break through certain walls if he needed to in the playoffs right now, but you could see in the first half against Charlotte, he's like, every time I catch this, they're going to double team me in the pocket every time, or I'm going to get fouled and they're not going to call it. I'm not dealing with it because we've got all of our guys here tonight. We can still win. I do still think if he's single covered and he feels like he has a mismatch, he's going to shoot. So I'll say yes. I will say I'm largely not worried about this trend right now at all.
I'm not worried about it at all, but it is something that I'm curious about whether or not it will happen. Just if he's going to score. I think Yoke's trying to get a good rhythm for this team, and so I do think there's, I don't think he's going to force the issue. I'd be surprised if he had a 40-piece tonight, but you know what? You never know. The guy who I kind of expect to have a 40-piece tonight, Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray, we're 1 game now into our proclaimed year of Jamal Murray. He scored 25 points.
I'll take it.
He shot 50% from 3. I think 50%. But it's only 1 game. But more than that, guys, tonight is the night he makes his return to Chase Center. Of course, the famous location of where he got injured several years ago. Kind of crazy that he hasn't played there.
That's very hard to believe.
Kind of hard to believe.
It is. He's had opportunities to. They played there the second game of last season. That was a front end of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
I believe he sat out. They also played there in the preseason last year.
Yeah.
He did not play in that game. And it's kind of interesting.
So what do you make of this? Here's the thing about Jamal Murray. I feel like he takes these types of things somewhat seriously, and it means something. He attaches meaning to him. I kind of feel like this is a meaningful game for him in some weird way.
I'm with you. There's something maybe to the mental element of attacking this game.
Right.
Not just going back out there and being back out there, but go be Jamal Murray on that floor and try not to think about it at all, which I'm sure he probably won't. And I'm sure after the game he would deny whether he likes to say, I'm just playing basketball. But yeah, I do get the sense that Jamal is a guy who so to speak, circles games on his calendar.
Right.
And I think this is one. I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe, look to feel extra confident early in this game.
I think so too. I think this is a game where Michael Malone looks to get him going early, because like Jamal's a professional. He's played in every arena except this one since coming back. But you've still got to think that he's thinking about it in some capacity, in some way. It's probably come on his mind, in the last day that this is his first time back there since the injury. So if I'm Michael Malone, I'm probably sensing that, and I'm trying to get him in a rhythm early, just like they did against Charlotte, which kind of backfired for the Nuggets offense, it seemed like to me. But I look to just run some plays for him early. I look to get him a couple open shots. I look to get him comfortable and confident early.
I don't think they want to bring up a negative thing that happened to him. So I think they just try to ease him into the game and just let him play. Like, don't even mention it or just go into it. I think it's more of like just trying to find a rhythm and consistency with Jamal, because it has been kind of up and down. And we're in the year of Jamal. He has to know that. We've all been talking about it. But also, you're playing against Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. I think that means a little bit more to him than anything else. Just playing well against those type of players who have pretty much changed the game. So I think that matters.
I see what you're saying about, this could be perceived as a negative, and I even saw some people in the chat being like, don't bring it up, this or that. But here's the thing about Jamal. I do feel like he is a guy that can see this as a challenge, because you can perceive this specific challenge playing in this building as something that you can conquer. And to go out there and have a big game here, it almost is like you reclaim it in a way.
Right, exactly.
My last experience there was when I went out there and dominated, and now that is no longer an issue. Never have to think about it again. And that's why I kind of expect something from him. But the other reason I expect something from him, guys, is I really do feel like he had a very good first game to the year in 2024. But I do feel like if he goes out and has a great one tonight, and by the way, we're kind of artificially creating this like 2024. He's actually had some really nice games over the last 10 or so since he's come back from the injury and been in the rotation. And I just kind of feel like tonight is a continuation of that. You got 2 days of rest. You have the front end of a back-to-back. And by the way, you've got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Chris Paul on the other side. Those guys can't guard you. Yeah. I feel like this is an opportunity for him to go out there and just have a statement game. And if he does, to me, it would be the happiest way for this game to go. Be like, you know what? Murray's percolating. He's starting to play. The best season of his regular season career is behind him so far, right? Like, I would love it if January 2024 was the best regular season of his career. And I honestly think it's very possible.
Yeah, I think he's shooting the lights out right now, and I think he's shooting around 6 threes per game. So, to me, this extended stretch is the most in a regular season that Jamal Murray has been a three-point shooter. I think he's very decisive with that. I think if he's open, he's shooting in a way maybe that wasn't the case 3 or 4 years ago. Jamal Murray is a three-point shooter right now. And to me, that has added a level of dynamicism to his game. And I hope he keeps that part of it up, because it's the one part of the Jokic-Murray pick and roll that maybe doesn't scare you to death. But if he's also a guy that's just going to be knocking down 2 to 3 threes a game, taking 6 or 7, good luck.
Yeah. His high on the season is 32. I'm going to go on a bold take here. I think he gets better than that. I said I think he has a new season high tonight. Tonight. Consider that when you're making your bets later on, Dev.
I didn't take that into consideration, but now I have to.
Well, also, the first voting returns for the All-Star game dropped today.
We're going to talk about those in the postgame, but we can bring it up now, too.
I was just going to say Jamal Murray, not top 10.
I mean,
I'm sure he takes that as a slight.
You're right. Some of the stuff that feels obvious to us, and then a player looks at it, is like, what?
Right. Definitely, man. Definitely.
Like MPJ's probably also pissed. Like, what? I'm not on here. I'm not on the defense. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So,
just something I thought of.
Steph Curry was on the list. Very high. The list, by the way, we're going to talk about this in the postgame show because it goes into our podcast, but the list, man, same order, same guys. And it's almost frustrating. Like, some of the names that are on, like, Shea's way down there.
Yeah.
There's guys on there where you're like, what?
The All-Star list.
The All-Star voting. The first returns came in, and you look at it, and I'm almost like, Have people not watched basketball yet this year? They're on last year's voting.
Probably
a little
not.
crazy, so a little frustrating. I also thought Yoke would be a little higher, but we'll go into all of that on the postgame show. Tonight is also a game that could be a
361 sponsorship isn't paying dividends yet.
Tonight is also a potential first-round playoff matchup, which feels wrong and weird, doesn't it? That the Nuggets and Warriors could match up number one. But again, that can only happen if the Warriors climb out of the gutter, which is where they are in the 11th seed. They're as close to the Utah Jazz right now, you guys. Actually, way closer than they are the Pelicans as the 6th seed. They can kiss the playoffs almost goodbye. The play-in is like the best you could hope for. But if we look at all these teams down there,
Yeah.
I think Utah, let's throw them out. They're the easiest if they were to somehow climb into the 7 seed or 8 seed or
Toss
6
them
seed,
out.
whatever it is. We'll toss them out. But who is the second? And then we'll throw out Houston, too, because we've talked about them kind of being a fake one. After that, who do you guys want? I won't even say who's the easiest. Who do you want as the number one first round matchup?
Man, that's a good question.
Layered question right there.
It is a layered question. Who do I want? I actually will say Golden State. I will say Golden State for a couple of reasons. One, we all did this 2-3 years ago and we were wrong, and I want revenge on that take.
Right.
Because what we were trying to say was we're not sure how they would really handle Jokic, and once he kind of cleared that 2-game Draymond hump, if you will, he was dominating them in that series, even though the Nuggets themselves got dominated. So I'd like to see how that one would go. But then also when you think about the narrative and just sort of the enemies that have been dispatched, there's something to, like, the Nuggets haven't really gotten the Warriors yet. And to be the team that kind of just says, thanks for everything, what a run, what an era it was, don't let the door hit you on the way out. There would be something to that.
I think Golden State is the easiest
Really?
out of the teams remaining, but I would like the Mavericks. I think Luka is incredible. But after that, you're going to have other guys beat you. I really do think that you could set it up where someone else is going to have to beat you. And I don't think that they have enough for that. They also don't have a center that's close to being able to slow him down in any type of way, as well as Jamal's going to go crazy against the Mavericks. So I really think that sets them up for, like, they get to play against a star, but also they can be dominant against a star. You have your morale, everything's up around the team coming off of a championship run. So I think Mavericks would be my answer.
Man, I've been thinking about this for the last 2 minutes and I can't decide. I'm going to go Dallas too. I'm going to go Dallas.
Is it because you think it's the easiest?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Luka would be very scary, like, regardless of the team he has around him, but I just don't have a lot of faith in the others on Dallas. Like, nobody else really scares me on that team.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't been very healthy this year, so I do think there's a chance that they're a little bit better than we're kind of all giving them credit for. But I'm with you that I think Dallas is not a very good team, and I think Jokic goes crazy. Like, I always think about that. Where's Jokic going to have an incredible playoff run,
And
whatever.
it's like if Luka averages 40 a game, you can still win that series.
I'm going to go with Golden State. And I like your Dallas pick. The thing I like about the Dallas pick is one of the things I want for Jokic is I want him to beat as many players, and the Nuggets in general, this team, to take as many, we call them scalps, as possible. Just keep getting, and like Luka, that would check a new box. Never beat Luka in the playoffs, so let's grab him too. Grab Kyrie while we're at it. But there's how many more chances are you going to get the Warriors?
That's kind of how I feel.
And I just kind of feel like there's a thing in there of like, hey man, we had it last year with the Lakers, kind of taking that and saying, you know what, your era's over. And even though the Warriors' era is kind of already over, it would be nice to be the one to put the nail in the coffin.
Exactly.
To be the one to be like, no, but that was the exclamation point. Remember that 4-game sweep or 5-game, whatever it was. And maybe it is harder. Of this panel, I know I have the most respect for Golden State. I still think it's within the realm of possibility that they can become a good team.
You know that?
Well, we've talked about it enough.
Okay.
We've talked about it enough where you guys are like, they suck, they're done, they're over, they're
I
cooked
think
for the
you're
fork in
right,
them.
but I also left.
We've had this car. All right, if you disagree with me,
I have respect for Golden State.
do you think that they could beat the Nuggets?
Anything could happen, yeah.
Anything is
they
possible.
could. Would they know?
Well, they're 16 and 17. They kind of suck.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they actually suck. I think they're just not good enough.
They got to make some moves.
Draymond?
Chris Paul at bare minimum needs to get out of there.
Chris Paul, you said?
Maybe, sure.
So Draymond and Chris Paul?
That's so much money, too.
That's a lot of money.
That's
If
a start.
If they pulled that off, man, that'd be so annoying. Who'd they get?
I don't know. I'm not a GM.
Do you think they got to get rid of Draymond?
Yeah, you're not going to win with them at this age. And
Really?
not right now. And also, they still have gaps. You talked
They have a
about,
lot of
you
gaps.
having a guy that, respect. It's not me. I'm not the number one guy for that. I don't think that they're good anymore. I don't think that they're the team that they were, of course. But I just think that I think a lot of teams would just destroy them if they had to. Yeah. The team that the Nuggets swept last year lost to them. Think about it.
Yeah. Some of it's matchups, I guess, maybe a little bit. I don't know. You guys aren't afraid of them. All right, let's go on. Let's open up the Bet365 Never Ordinary Sportsbook app. Let's take our attention to Superstar Dev. Get lots of bets in today, man. I'm feeling it.
All right. Denver comes into this game as 4-point favorites. And I don't think that's enough. Denver defends Curry so well, incredible. And
First team.
That's the big thing about this. The Warriors have a hard time scoring without Curry, and Curry has a hard time scoring against Denver. So I really like Denver in this game.
Do you think the KCP part of this is because we saw KCP shut down Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and then they played again, and he murdered him. You don't think it's like that?
No, and also the murder came when Aaron Gordon was not in it. I think that Denver defends teams and stars well because they have help side. They have other guys that can switch, and they have those guys back tonight. It was so frustrating in the last. Curry shot a left-hand three because he was in prison. That's crazy to me. So I like Denver -4. I also like the under 234.
Really?
Like it. Just don't think they want to get up and down with them. And also, they're going to just try to find so many ways to try to get Curry to score. It takes away a lot of scoring opportunities because you just don't have the same options of just coming down and shooting a three. And that's where their pace comes from, is those threes.
The last time they played, the Warriors scored kind of easy on Denver with their wings, especially in the post. Andrew Wiggins went off. Kuminga had a pretty decent game. Something to kind of think about for them.
They got to 234. And that's with other guys hitting shots that I don't think Wiggins is going to have that type of game. I don't think these other guys are going to have those. I like the under. On the Warriors side of things, I like the Curry assist. I just think that he has so much attention on him that he can do drop-offs. It's easy scoring opportunities. It's only 4 assists.
Really?
That's low, super low for him.
I don't have
just
it
because
on
of how they play him. So I'm just going to go with the Curry assist. For jump offs. I do like the over 15.5 points for Clay instead. All of that pressure on Curry, they have to drop it off to somebody. Somebody has to hit threes. In the last game, it was, what is his name? Podminsky?
Podjensky.
Podcast.
He was going crazy last time. He played really well. So I think that's who they ran it through this time. I think that it's going to be Clay instead of the Wiggins and him thing. So I like the over 15.5 for Clay. Now it's Denver. Let's just start with Jamal assist. I'll go with the 6+. They have it at 6, but you could go down and get the 6+ option.
They have 6.5.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the 6. So you can switch it over.
I see.
I do like 6. You guys think that he's gonna try to go off with scoring? I think he tries to play calm in this game and just take it out of his head, and that's with getting everyone else involved. I also think that this is going to be a monster Jokic game. He's going to be able to feed him a bit more. So I'm going to go over 6 assists. I do like his three-pointers. So I'm going to go over 2.5 three-pointers for Jamal Murray. That's a big part of Denver's offense, and he hasn't been shy about taking them. He's shooting it really well right now and just really confident. So I like that. I like Michael Porter Jr. rebounds.
Really?
He's been aggressive on those. They have it at 7.5. Take it. +8. He's going to have a big rebounding
I like
game.
that bet, dude. It's a good bet.
He gets it every time, it feels like. So I like that. Going to go over Jokic assist as well. I think he has a triple-double in this game. I think this is it's going to be a Jokic game.
A reminder game?
I hope you're right.
I've heard a lot of people throw that term
It
out
is
there
a
recently.
reminder game.
Okay.
TNT didn't play that well last time he was on national television. He's going to have a monster game. You could get his points. You could get his assists. You could get his rebounds.
Shaq's
Which means
going to be talking in Serbian to him after the game.
the lock of the game is Jokic over 48.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I'm tired of the passive Jokic. I think he's tired of it too, but he's also making his jumpers. Make sure you get the points. He is going to get over 26 points, but he's also going to get the assists and rebounds as well.
Man,
Big
this
game
feels
for
like
him.
a crazy bet just based on how he's been playing
It's
lately.
going to happen.
Okay. All right. I hope you're right, man.
There's also a super boost on Bet365 where you can get Jokic 25 plus points and 10 plus rebounds plus money, plus 130.
Do you
I
like
mean,
that?
there's not a lot
25
of
and
juice,
10?
but he's going to get 25 and 10 tonight.
All right. I don't mind. That's plus 130. That's good value.
That's good
Yeah.
value. They
I'm
don't
down.
limit it either.
I mean, they
I almost
might.
never take those ones, but I guess I'll do it. You guys want to get crazy tonight, though?
Let's do it.
Peyton Watson's blocks. Is it theirs? Is it Peyton Watson steal blocks? Is it Christian Brown for a 3? All right, that was my New Year's resolution. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, you guys.
Thank God.
I'm not doing it. I'm not getting too crazy. Is it Michael Porter 3s?
Yeah.
You know what? We were thinking about this. You can do the alternate 3s, the milestone 3s, and I think 4 for Michael Porter. You get plus 165.
Yeah.
Now, didn't we say that he always plays well against Steph and Clay because they practice together, all this different stuff? 4 3s, that's like a great Michael Porter. Now you get 4 3s. I think 4 of 9 tonight. I'm calling
Love
it.
it.
4
Love
of
it,
9
Dan.
Michael Porter. I'm taking it.
I would take P-Watt over 1.5 blocks.
1.5.
If I'm trying to get
they don't
crazy
have him on
with
here.
something.
They don't have
That's
him
a
on
little
here.
too crazy.
I know I'm just prefacing it by saying it's a little crazy, but if you want to
Seems a little
live
bit crazy.
dangerously,
All right, guys, that does it.
I
We're
like
going to go
that.
down and watch the TNT broadcast of Denver Nuggets, Golden State Warriors. Do us a favor, hit the like button. We'll see you on the other side.
We all silly like the mayor.